No, thank you. What's up, my amazing heart trained family? Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to another live here on my channel, One Man, Three Hearts. Welcome to all of our OG subscribers, our OG members, and of course all of our new viewers who are joining us for the very first time tonight. If you are new, my name is Christoph. It's so nice to meet you. Welcome! I really hope and invite you to hit that button so you can subscribe and be part of our amazing community here on YouTube, the One Man, Three Hearts Heart Train family. Who do we have with us tonight? I see that we have our dear and loyal member, Drea, is with us this evening. Ghost Unspeakable, another dear and loyal member. Lucy Cat is with us tonight. Our OG member and real housewife of One Man, Three Hearts, Miss Ellen Boazart. Welcome, everybody. And shout out especially to our channel members, the heart and soul of our heart train here on One Man, Three Hearts. Again, welcome to tonight's live. Just a spoonful of applesauce helps the medicine go down. So tonight I'm going to be discussing with you my medicine regime, all the different medication that I have to take to sustain my health and keep me alive, what the medications are for, some of the side effects that accompany these meds, how important it is that I take them in terms of the frequency and the timing. So we're going to dive into all of that tonight. And I'm really excited to share with you guys and answer any questions that you may have. Now, tonight's live is sponsored by Five Hearts Merch Spotlight Victory Series. You can check out our merchandise website at the quick links in our bio description of our homepage. There you'll find the link to the merchandise website at fiveheartsmerch.com. That's the number 5heartsmerch.com. As well as the link to our short documentary, the link to my book, as well as the link to join our memberships and the link to the GoFundMe. Help us to rally all week long. It's the last week here in Heart Month. So help us to go out strong and also go into March full of momentum by visiting those support links in our bio, especially the GoFundMe. Let's light it up, baby. Also, guys, you can show some love immediately here in tonight's live by double tapping your screens or hitting the top right corner 3-dot drop down menu. We really appreciate any and all support that you're able to give here on the channel. Don't forget that you can also take advantage of YouTube's Super Gifting Program, as well as the Ruby Gifting Program. That is available at the top right corner as well. There's a little money symbol and also a little gift box symbol for the Ruby gifts. So as I'm sure most of you have learned by following my journey, watching my videos, my content, my medical journey has been quite extensive. And we just actually celebrated on Sunday the 35-year anniversary since I first fell ill. February 23rd, 1990, after a karate class, I came home, had dinner with my family, and then shortly thereafter I collapsed. And I was in complete heart failure with complete heart block. Since the age of 6, I have been on various medication to maintain my health. Everything from heart medication, blood pressure medication, vitamins, medication for my kidneys, my liver, medications for my stomach, and a lot of extra things over the years just to balance out my care. Right now, I take medication twice daily, 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. My medication is very important in terms of sustaining my life. I could not live without my medication. The timing of my medication is also very important. I take my meds 12 hours apart, and I cannot mess around with that. So I want to start by talking about my heart medication first, because that is literally the most important on the list of all the medications that I take. My anti-rejection meds. And without those meds, which are critical, I would not survive. This is something that I unfortunately learned the hard way. For my first heart transplant, I was very new to the whole idea of taking anti rejection medications, and I was also unfamiliar with just how important and serious not only taking them is, but how the manner in which I take them. Meaning that they have to be taken on time. I cannot mess around with being late or missing doses. And my meds are very, very specific in terms of the fact that I cannot take substitutes, I can't take the generic, I really have to take the brand version. Now, like I said, I have been on medication since the age of 6. When I first fell ill, I was having issues with the beating of my heart and managing the rhythm. And so I was taking medication at that time to control the rhythm of my heart, as well as a diuretic because my body was holding on to a lot of extra fluid, and that was also causing issues for my heart as well. So for about 10 years or so, I took one pill that helped to regulate my heart function and heart rhythm to keep me on track, and I took another liquid that was a diuretic to help me to pee to get all of that fluid off of my body, the extra fluid that I was holding on to because my heart wasn't performing optimally. Drea, so I'm going to talk about that in just a few. Great question. Drea is asking, what are some side effects? And do you take other meds to address the side effects? Drea, excellent questions. Thank you so much for those. So, as I mentioned, I had my first heart transplant at the age of 16. And so that's when I switched over from the meds that I had been taking since my childhood, and now I needed to go on medication to protect my new transplanted heart. This was something that I learned as I was going through the transplant process. Mind you, I was just 16. This was back in the year 2000, and transplant was not as commonly performed as it is today. Transplant for me was something that I was incredibly unfamiliar with. I had to do a lot of research. I had to ask a lot of questions when I went in for my pre evaluation meetings because this was something that was completely foreign to me. I did not know what was involved, I didn't know what to expect, I didn't know about the aftercare and just how involved it was going to be and how necessary it was in terms of my very survival. And what is ironic is that despite going through what I considered a lot of prep with my medical team, and even thereafter having my transplant, there were several meetings with the nurse practitioner where she enforced the importance of my medication. She told me countless times just how important it was that I take my meds on time and that I don't miss doses, and yet still As you will hear in just a bit, that was something that I was not exactly compliant with. They also explained to me that while these meds are extremely necessary and beneficial to my overall well being and quality of life, they also come with a lot of side effects, unfortunately. Now, initially, following my transplant, just because of how sensitive I was to infection and various strains of bacteria, and because the organ was so new and my body was not adapting to it early on, I had to be on very high doses of anti rejection meds and other meds just to make sure that I was safe. Our bodies are very intricate, very intelligent, and our bodies are aware when there are certain things that enter that are not belonging to us or are foreign. And so when I had my heart transplant, my body was essentially shocked because all of my cells and the blood cells were reacting, trying to figure out, wait a minute, this does not belong to us. Where did this come from? What is this foreign object doing with us? And immediately, as a way for the body to protect itself, your white blood cells then try to attack the transplanted organ. And so, as a way to protect that, we must suppress the immune system and keep those white blood cells at bay. And the only way to do that is with those very strong anti rejection medications. Being that this was my first organ transplant and something that my body was not familiar with, like I said, I had to be placed on very high doses of anti rejection medicines for it to maintain the health of my transplanted organ and keep those white blood cells at bay. These very strong anti rejection meds come with a number of side effects. Now, they're different for everybody, so this is just a little bit of a warning. I am only speaking for myself. Like I said, everybody has different side effects, different experiences. Also, transplant patients are on a variation of different medications. So no transplant patient really has the same regime as another. And they always warned us about that because, very often transplant patients are quick to want to compare or say to themselves, hey, why do I have to be on heavy doses of this and they don't? Especially if the side effects are intense because nobody wants to deal with that. So, side effects, Drea. Some of the side effects that come along with the anti rejection meds that I'm on are intense hair growth. I just wish it would be on the top of my head. But yeah, we have a lot of hair growth all over the body. I have noticed that my eyebrows have been particularly bushy. I get a lot of hair growth in my nose, my nostrils, on my ears, my arms, my legs. And being that I am a male, it doesn't really bother me too much. Hair is part of our genetics, but I do know that that particular side effect can be very frustrating for the female transplant patients. I have a lot of female friends in the transplant community, and that is one thing that they complain about the most, especially the facial hair. The chest hair, the back hair, that stuff can be really, really annoying and frustrating. Drea says, are your meds all in pill form? Yes, they are, Drea. They are. Fortunately, for most of my life up until recently, I've never had an issue with swallowing pills. Like, not whatsoever. Swallowing pills always came very easily to me. Elle, how are you? Happy Tuesday, Elle. Welcome to the live. Tonight we are discussing my medicine regime, all the many pills that I have to take to maintain my survival and health. Great to see you guys. Great to see you. Yes, producer Jennifer is absolutely right. We have a short for that. We have a short for that. Oh, guys, please join me in showing some love to our beloved producer Jennifer Cascardo, producer of One Man, Three Hearts platforms, the creator of the Heart Train, co-content creator, marketing strategist, the genius behind One Man, Three Hearts platforms, and of course our live stream moderator that holds it down in all of our chats. Guys, please show some love and W's in the chat for producer Jennifer Cascardo. Thank you, Elle. Thank you so much. Thank you. So there are two types of medications that I am taking at the moment. But one medicine that was very strong and that I had to be on for the initial 6 months following transplant was a steroid. Now, that steroid was probably the harshest out of all of them because that came with hair growth as well, stomach pains, stomach cramps, excessive appetite. And when I tell you this medication would make me so hungry, I've never had an appetite like that in my entire life. And also, it would cause you to gain weight because you were eating so much. Now, the thing that really bothered me is that it would make my stomach feel like a balloon, like a steel drum. My stomach would protrude and give me like a little pouch, and it would be so stiff and hard. And so when I would have to eat, it would be very painful because even though I was hungry, my stomach felt full. Does that make sense? It felt like I had no more room to add any more nutrition or ingest any more food, and yet I was starving at the same time. This steroid also came with mood swings. It made you very moody, very cranky. That was something that they actually warned my family about prior to me going on it. They said, listen, please be patient with Chris as he goes through this. Taking this med is going to make him a little cranky, a little more crabby than usual. I am a Cancer, so that's part of the personality, but this was just going to intensify things. Drea says I hated taking pills. Did you really? I don't mind them. I really don't. Now I do, just because it's become a little bit more challenging for me to swallow as a result of myofibrillar myopathy and the effects that come along with that. But for me, again, taking pills, I didn't mind it. It was never an issue for me. My siblings, they hated taking pills, and I was always so shocked by that because for me it was never difficult. Drea, yes, yes. So I did get the steroid rash as well. It was not prominent all over my body. It was primarily, on my cheeks and my arms, and a little bit on my chest. It was definitely very itchy though. Also, the steroids did cause my cheeks to be very puffy, which something similar happened when I was steroids back in the 90s, because that was something, again, that they treated me with to um, keep my heart intact initially, while they were preparing me for surgery and trying to figure out what they were going to do. Seacop, I got your email today. I got you, buddy, okay? So don't worry. Don't you worry, Seacop. We are going to figure this thing out. I'm happy that you're here tonight, though. It's always so great to have you in the chat. Oh, potassium. What about potassium, Al? Ellen says for me, the hate came from a really, really bad gag reflex. Oh wow, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's hard. For some people, taking pills and getting them down is really difficult, especially if they're large pills. So again, chat, I was on high doses of steroids following my transplant. Now, each of my transplants, it was the same thing. They usually put you on high doses of steroids as you are finished with the transplant surgery. And then the further out you are from transplant, little by little, they should be able to reduce the steroids, hopefully getting you completely off. Now, as I said, that does differ from for everybody. I know people who are still on very low doses of steroids to this day. I myself, I was able to get off the steroids completely. After about 5, 6 months, they were able to start to taper the steroids. Now, because of the intensity of the steroids and just how harsh they are on the body, you cannot stop cold turkey. There is a very strict taper regime, which means that you take smaller and smaller doses the further and further you are out. So I'll give you an example. They gave me an entire taper schedule, and it was like, let's just say if I was on 50 milligrams, it would be 50 milligrams in the morning and then 45 milligrams at night for about a week or so. And then it would be 45 and 45 for another week, and then it would be 40, 45 and 40, and so on. And little by little, they just bring you down to a lower dose until you can eventually get off it completely. Like I said, coming off of a steroid as strong as that totally can be very, very dangerous, so don't mess around with that. Always talk to your medical professionals in regards to coming off sensitive medication like that. Another thing with that high dose of steroid is that it caused me to develop steroid induced diabetes. Now, this only happened with my first heart transplant, and I'm thankful that it did not occur again with my second heart transplant or even my kidney transplant, because I'll tell you guys, having steroid induced diabetes was awful. Not only did it affect my diet and the things that I love to be able to enjoy to eat, but I also had to monitor my blood sugar levels 3 times a day. I had to stick myself in the finger and prick myself and check my blood levels. That was awful. I also had to take insulin, inject insulin to control my sugar levels. And again, this was simply just because the steroids, they can cause steroid induced diabetes. And I think that that is attributed to the excessive appetite and just how much you're eating at that time. And I'm a little guy, I'm about 115 pounds soaking wet. And you can imagine at 17 years old, I was probably even thinner than that. And then going from that to taking these steroids that were causing me to eat an excessive amount, I was sure to get the diabetes. However, I will say that after the 6 months and slowly coming off the steroids, that too went away. Yes, Alan, so I discussed that in the book. Dre, exactly, like titrating the meds. Exactly, that's so correct. Yes, L, correct. Yes, it does make you crave sugar and potassium, absolutely. Maj Podge, hello! Happy Tuesday, Maj. Welcome to the live. Maj, we're talking about my medication regime and everything that has been involved over my journey and what comes along with it, what's necessary, so all that good stuff. Sullivan, how are you? Sullivan, it's been a while. Good to see you. Welcome to the chat. Guys, also please remember to like and love the live. Show some love by hitting the top right corner 3 dot drop down menu. I really appreciate the support. Also, guys, you can support my mission by sending over some supers, some rubies, and by visiting my GoFundMe link that's located in the bio. I would really appreciate your help in moving my mission forward to move myofibrillar myopathy. Donate to my GoFundMe and support me today. You're welcome, Maj. Maj, you're one of my OGs. I gotta catch you up. Drea, so that's another great question. Drea's asking, what is the most meds you were taking at once? Now, initially after transplant, that's when you are on the highest doses of medication and you're taking the most amount of medication. And they reassure you constantly to tell you that this is temporary, and as long as you're compliant and take care of your organ, that within 5 to 6 months you should be able to come down slowly. At one point, I was taking 17 pills twice a day. 17 pills in the morning and 17 pills at night. On top of that, I was also getting heart biopsies where they would go in through my neck, the artery in my neck, down into my heart muscle, and take tiny microscopic. So they would take tiny microscopic pieces of the heart to test it for rejection. That was on Mondays and Fridays. So imagine biopsies twice a week, blood work 3 times a week, and 17 pills twice a day. Yeah. And I'm telling you, the farther out I was from transplant, and the more they were able to say, hey, you don't need this pill anymore, or we're going to lower the dosage of this pill. Oh my gosh, oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. When my doctors would, when my doctors would, when my doctors would take my pills away. Oh, happy day, take my pills away. Oh, Drea, a nightmare, a nightmare. And even though I was very thankful to my medical team and how diligent they were really on top of everything. Whew, I was getting tired of seeing them. I could not wait to just have, that 3 to 4 months in between visits. So now, I'm currently taking 2 medications for my heart, my anti-rejection meds. 1 medication, that is the very large horse pill that sometimes you see me struggle with for my 10 p.m. meds. It's the one of the last 2 pills that I take. That is the pill that I told you the compound pharmacist was able to switch to 4 tiny pills. So there's one anti-rejection med that I take twice a day that is 4 tiny pills. They're like 4 little bullets. The second anti-rejection med is another, I would say, medium-sized pill. The first pill that comes in the 4 bullets, that's the one that is critical in terms of timing, and I truly can't miss any doses. That medication also has to be monitored in terms of the levels in my blood. And they normally like the levels to be between 150 and 170. Anything below and above is out of whack, and they will sometimes adjust the dosage of my meds to either bring it up or lower it, depending on what the level is. Leave a like for improvisation. Yeah, baby. Al says that all steroids not only attack your immune system, which make you more apt to get sicker as you limit interactions with people. Yes, 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 yes. Al, thank you. You guys are really very smart on this topic. Yes, producer Jennifer, we sure did. Now, because I am a heart transplant recipient, my blood pressure also tends to be elevated. And so I do take a couple different pills for blood pressure. Now, anybody who has blood pressure issues or needs to take medication to maintain their blood pressure knows that that has to be titrated as well, depending on the patient. And blood pressure can be a very sensitive thing. So sometimes you may be on one regime for a certain amount of time and your body changes for whatever reason, your diet changes, and then you may need a little less or need a little bit more. How many people in our chat are on some type of medication regime to help or assist with their health? And that can be anything from prescription meds to over the counter vitamins. How many of you guys take medicine? And again, chat, please do not mention the specific brand or generic name of your medicine. We would like to remain in compliance with our channel here. And so we are remaining anonymous or ambiguous. That's the word I'm looking for with the words. Okay, so no specific names, and also we'll only share what you're comfortable sharing with chat. So okay. So what about the cost of these life-saving meds? I hope you didn't run into the insurance denying certain meds. Oh, Drea, we'll talk about that in just a minute, honey. Alan says me, not ashamed of them. Sullivan, yes, my condition is called myofibrillar myopathy, and I'm on a mission to move MFM. Vitamins, okay, Ghost. Yep, I do take 4 daily meds. Okay, Drea. Please be mindful of the bot reviews listening. Thank you. Yes, thank you, producer Jennifer. Sullivan, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that greatly. I also take, so I have a couple blood pressure medications. Now, being that I'm on dialysis, blood pressure is another big issue in trying to maintain when you are a dialysis patient. Dialysis patients also suffer from a very low hemoglobin and very often require blood transfusions. I've had several blood transfusions in my 7 years of being on dialysis for the second time. And also because of the constant fluid shift and the shift in electrolytes in our blood, that causes our blood pressure to fluctuate, be very high, be very low, and I've had both. I've had periods where my blood pressure was so high that I was having daily migraines. Thankfully, knock on wood, that has not liquid. That has not happened in quite some time. But now I am really dealing with the issue of my blood pressure crashing while I'm on treatment. And when that occurs, they have to sometimes give me a special medication to elevate my blood pressure during treatment. And depending on how low my blood pressure is, I may need several doses of that medication over the 3.5 hours that I'm getting my blood cleaned, or that my blood is getting a bubble bath. Shout out to Jack's son with the bubble bath comment. Now, as you can imagine, because I take so many different medications, that also irritates the lining of my stomach and can cause potential stomach issues. Especially because I have been on some of these medications now for over 2 decades. And a lot of these medications are very harsh. It's also often advised that I do not take my meds on an empty stomach, and so that's why I chose the timing of 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Because by then, I know that I would have had and digested my breakfast and dinner. So at least in the mornings, I have some time to get a little something into my system, and I'm not taking all of those meds on an empty stomach. And the same thing for nighttime. Drea, yes. So Drea is asking, is the blood transfusion due to your hemoglobin numbers being down? And that is absolutely correct. There is a certain amount of blood loss for me with my dialysis treatments. As my blood goes into the machine to be cleansed and get its bubble bath, it doesn't always make its way back into my system in full, and that's what can cause the shortage. Hemoglobin issues is very common with dialysis patients. I do take a medication, both morning and night, that helps with the acid buildup and to soothe my stomach from the harshness of the many meds. Ellen, the bubble bath thing will never get old. Blood bubble bath is the most adorable thing ever. Such a memorable moment here on the Heart Train. Now, Drea asked a little bit about side effects before, and I mentioned that my anti-rejection medications and the steroids are the ones that have the highest amount of side effects. Another side effect of the anti-rejection med that I take, the one that comes in the 4 little bullets, is liver stones and gallstones. And that's something that can occur after many years of taking the medication. I received my heart transplant, the first heart transplant, in 2000. In the spring of 2022 is when I had a severe gallstone and liver stone attack. I talk about that very instance in my book as well. The moment when I was in a barber chair getting my hair cut, and next thing I know, I was keeled over in the fetal position on the floor, calling my dad to rush me to the hospital where I had to have an emergency cholecystectomy to remove my gallbladder. When they did a ultrasound of my gallbladder and my liver, they found that my gallbladder and my liver were so severely impacted with stones that they had to emergently remove my gallbladder, and I had to have a um, colostomy bag inserted to remove and drain all of those stones from my liver. Okay? So, talk about having one life saving medication that you literally cannot take late or miss doses only to have it cause another severe issue leading to surgery and several procedures. Another fun fact that I discuss in my book is that I actually had a gallstone attack on the morning of 9/11. And my mother was desperately trying to get to me because I was going to school in the city and all the bridges were closed. If you want to know how that ended up, go check out my book, One Man, Three Hearts, Nine Lives. That's a direct link in my bio, available on Amazon, ebook, and Audible. Good. So I am now on a certain medication that helps to prevent liver stones from ever occurring again. And liquid, it's been over 20 years since I've had my gallbladder removed and had my colostomy bag taken out, and I thankfully have not had any recurring issues with that whatsoever. I get all of my organs checked out and tested every time I go in for my appointments, about every 3 months, and thank God my liver has been very healthy since that incident, and so has my heart. I don't have a gallbladder anymore, but my intestines, all that has been in check. What about not being able to eat certain foods due to the meds? Drea, another excellent question. Drea is on fire tonight. So, thankfully, I don't have any nutritional restrictions in regards to my medication. However, when I was taking blood thinners, which was when they found the pulmonary embolism, that was in the fall of 2021, there's actually a short of me being discharged from the hospital. The morning that I was getting discharged, producer Jennifer actually called me with the exciting news of our first film festival acceptance. That was producer Jennifer's and I's first hospital admission together. So when I was on the blood thinners, there's one blood thinner in particular where you have to avoid vitamin E. So greens, spinach, uh, things like kale, grapefruit, anything high in vitamin E, and vitamin K. Sorry, vitamin K, I believe. Drea said yes. I was just going to say that. A very delicate balance of needing to take these life-saving meds only to have them negatively impact other parts of your body. Yes, amen. Did you get stomach ulcers from taking the steroids? Drea, thankfully not. I was able to avoid that. And again, liquid. Knock on wood, up until this point, that is something that I have not had to deal with. Also, because I'm very careful, like I said, I try not to take my meds on an empty stomach. Even if I take it with a coffee or a tea, I try not to just take it with water. Unless if I'm going in for a surgery or something and I have to be NPO, that's something you can't avoid. And in those instances, they usually have me only take my critical meds anyway, so I'm only taking a couple of the pills. Usually just the anti-rejection meds. I skip the blood pressure meds because your blood pressure tends to drop when they're giving you general anesthesia. But for those cases, if I'm having a procedure or a surgery, and let's say the surgery is starting after 10 a.m., then they'll usually advise me, they'll say, hey, just take your essential meds with a sip of water. Yes, the positives outweigh the negatives, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's still super annoying. I'll give you an example. My blood pressure meds, there was a med that I had to take that caused my ankles to swell and also caused my gums to swell. There are a few photos, especially from my graduation from high school, where you'll see when I smile, my gums are almost covering my teeth. They're very, very swollen. And I was very self-conscious about it. It was something that really made me depressed. I didn't like to smile, and you guys know how important my smile is to me. So I eventually was recommended by my heart doctor, a oral surgeon, who helped me and did cosmetic surgery to actually shave down my gums. A very painful surgery, but beauty is pain and it was so worth it. So now you can see my teeth. I have some pictures and I can share them with you guys, but again, not only was that very aesthetically displeasing, it was so painful when I was eating things like bagels, biting into a sandwich, eating a steak, or even sometimes chicken. My gums would bleed when I would eat, when I would brush them. It was so uncomfortable and painful. And shout out to that oral surgeon because not only did he give me my smile back, but he also helped me in so many ways with my quality of life. And that was from one of the blood pressure medications. There was also an instance where my legs, my lower extremities were so swollen as a result of taking the blood pressure medication that while on vacation with a group of friends, I went to go for a swim in the ocean, unaware of the fact that having swelling in my legs was the equivalent of going into the ocean with cinder blocks on my feet. I started to drown. I started to sink because the weight of my legs was too much and I was not strong enough to keep myself above water. Thankfully, one of my best friends noticed that I was struggling, and in that moment, he was able to get me out to safety and give me CPR on the ocean, on the sandbar. And this is why I call myself one man, three hearts, nine lives. There have been so many, countless instances where I could have lost my life and I would not be sitting here with you, my heart train passengers, today. But God has called me to a mission. God has spared my life over and over, miracle after miracle, for a reason. I am here to bring awareness to myofibrillar myopathy. I am here to make a difference in the chronic illness community, in the community of disability, in the community of organ donation. I am here to share my life, to share my story, in the effort to save and motivate countless lives all over the world. I am one man, three hearts, still alive. Lenise! Hello! How are you, honey? Welcome, happy Tuesday. And guys, how apropos, I am about to take my 10 p.m. medication. So please guys give me a couple minutes as I take my meds. Now you guys have a little bit of a background as to how vital and important all of these medications are. Emmanuel, how many pills do I take a day?
12.
12. So we are at 12 right now,
13,
guys.
the big one.
Yeah, okay, so I would take 13, but I'm not going to take my fish oil this evening. Just because, as I said, recently I've been having a little bit of trouble with the bigger pills. Just being able to get them down has been a struggle, and so until I kind of sort that out, I want to be safe. Claude! Oh my god, Claude, please, don't make me emotional right now. Guys, my brother is in the chat, my best friend. Ugh. We were having a little bit of a heart-to-heart before I went live, so that's why I said I don't want him to get me going right now. Guys, give me a couple minutes. I'm just going to take my meds. That would be a great time to chat with my little bro. Or visit our support links that are located in the bio. Give me just a couple minutes, guys. Hi, Claude. He's married. He's married, ladies. W's in the chat for Drea. Drea lighting up our screen. Bright orange with the super chat saying, a little treat after the meds. Thank you so much, Drea. W's for Drea in the chat. And guys, W's for my brother Claude in the chat. So amazing. Oh, Claude, you made my night, bro. Honestly, you made my night. I've told you guys my siblings are my best friends. So I take 12 pills, 12 a.m. and 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. I just took my nighttime meds, but I left out the fish oil because it's huge, and I've been having a lot of trouble getting those bigger pills down. I told you guys about how my one anti-rejection pill, they have now been able to make it into 4 small pills instead of the one giant pill, and that's been so much easier for me. So I told you about the anti-rejection pills. We talked about my blood pressure meds. We talked about the stomach pills. We talked about the anti-gallstone pills. I also take several multivitamins. So I take a generalized multivitamin. I take a prenatal vitamin, believe it or not. And I most recently, about a year or so ago, started taking a fish oil supplement. I also take a pill to help keep my cholesterol down, and I take another pill to assist with my the thyroid. Now, some of you may not know, but I did have thyroid cancer 6 years ago, and I had the left half of my thyroid removed. And so, in an effort to regulate my thyroid hormone, my parathyroid hormone, I take a supplement for that as well. There was a supplement that I was recommended when I went back to the National Institutes of Health. This was about 8 years ago. And that was the one supplement that they recommended could potentially help with my muscle function and my energy levels. And I did notice that there was some benefit, but as we were discussing before, unfortunately that came with some side effects that at the time were just not manageable for me, and so I had to discontinue it. I've recently been talking with producer Jennifer just because in our research that has come back up. as we've been discussing and brainstorming various possibilities. So that is something that I'm going to talk to my medical team about possibly revisiting now, because at that time the issues were really because I was still walking, and so it was causing issues with my being able to get around. But now that I'm in the wheelchair and I don't have to worry about that anymore, it might be something worth revisiting. Unfortunately, though, at this time, in terms of myofibrillar myopathy, there really is no treatment or cure. As you guys know, there's nothing that I'm able to take to slow down the progression of the weakness, nothing to help build back muscle, nothing to even help with my muscle strength. And that is what we are really hoping to change as we come together in this mission to move MFN. That's what producer Jennifer and I are hoping to really make a difference for. To at least get the ball rolling in terms of research and development to find out what can potentially help this condition, what could slow down the progression. The Price of Life episodes launching in March. Move MFM. Stay tuned. Drea, yes, yes. So stem cell therapy is another thing I'm looking into. There's been a lot of advancements in terms of stem cell therapy in general. For me, it just gets a little bit complicated because being a transplant patient, a lot of the options out there are not compatible for me just because they would then compromise my transplant. So one of my anti-rejection meds, the one that's actually the most important for my survival, is highly sensitive to, that's the one that I have to watch the levels of. There are actually certain vitamins and supplements that can cause that medication level to skyrocket. I'll give you an example. So, back in my college years, I was very self conscious about how thin I was, being so skinny, especially growing up in this area surrounded by meatheads. I wanted to gain weight, I wanted to bulk up and put on some muscle. So, I went to a supplement store and I got some like protein powder and protein pills, protein bars, and didn't even think anything of it. I was scheduled, thankfully, for a transplant appointment about a week later, and when they drew my labs, everything was out of whack. Everything was astronomical. And when they said to me, "Have you been doing anything different? Have you started taking something new?" And I told them about it, they were, "Chris, no, 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 no. You can never introduce, even if it's something that's edible. And especially, this was the most ironic part. They said if it says all natural, it's not all natural. And your medication is very sensitive to, you know, the different things that are in these products, the different ingredients. So now I know better. Even there was like a brand of tea. It was supposed to help you sleep, and it was like this relaxing tea. Same type of thing. When I read about my medical team, they said, nope, absolutely not. That'll make your medication go out of whack. So I have to be very careful. That's why Drea's question about are there any foods that I have to avoid is a really good question, because even though I'm able to have a regular diet, anything like in terms of supplements, vitamins, shakes, like all those kind of health type of things, health vitamins, over the counter, I have to run by my medical team first. Alex! Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Yeah, what's 55 kilograms? I'm so used to kilograms now because of dialysis. That's the way that they weigh us. I'm 55 kilos. What's 55 times 2.2? Is what? It's like, maybe I'm less than 150 pounds. Jeez. Whew. Duh. Honestly, though, I feel better knowing that I have myofibular myopathy because my whole life I could not figure out why it was so hard for me to put on weight. I was always so skinny, so lean. And so at least when I had a diagnosis, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That's why I'm so skinny. That's why I would have trouble with running. That's why I would get out of breath. So, just as we wrap up, guys, you know that I am waiting for a second kidney transplant. It's been 7 years. I just made my 7 year anniversary in January. Now, when I go for my kidney transplant, after surgery, I am once again going to have to be placed on higher doses. Thankfully, because a lot of the anti-rejection medication I'm already on, they'll only have to increase the dosage, and because my body is already used to the medicine, it won't be that much of an acclimation. Modge Podge! Yes, baby! Oh, I love you, Modge. Exactly, it's coming soon, and I'm so ready for it. But I do want you to know that I will have to go back on higher doses, potentially go back on the steroids. But the good news is, again, because I am used to the medicine, my body is adjusted, it won't be for that long of a period. So let's say for a normal first time patient, it's about 5, 6 months. For me, hopefully, if I am doing well, it should be about 3. Melissa Olson, how are you, honey? Good to see you. I love seeing all the green members in the chat. Chat, we are going to be back again with you tomorrow in dialysis, so please join us at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going live every day this week as we rally for the end of Heart Month. We are so close to reaching the end of our goal. So guys, please help us out. Donate a super, donate the rubies, hit that like button, show some love, and also visit the support links in our bio by hitting up that GoFundMe, watching the short documentary. As you can see, the film poster up behind me. It's Started with the Heart, 6 film festival acceptances, and nominated for Best Short Documentary Award. Also, guys, my book, One Man, Three Hearts, Nine Lives, now available at the quick links in our bio. God, Claude! Guys, this is my brother Claude's first super ever on a live stream. And I'm so honored and thankful that I would be my brother's first super ever on YouTube. Don't tell your wife. Guys, W's in the chat for my brother Georges Claude Lafontaine. Claude, your name looks so boss. Georges Claude Lafontaine. Oh, thank you guys. Producer Jennifer is reminding the chat that if you are able to donate a kidney, please email me at oneman3hearts@gmail.com. That's the number one, man, the number 3, hearts@gmail.com. Okay, Ellen. W's for George. Skyward Flux. Skyward, bro, I missed you. Dude, it's been too long. How are you, Skyward? I'm the total opposite of Chris. I don't use social media at all. Guys, he's not lying. He really hasn't. He doesn't, and he's never had it. He's on LinkedIn for work, and that's it. Oh, Skyward. Ah, listen. So many of us are going through it right now, whether it's because you're sick, you're not feeling well, seasonal depression, you've lost a loved one, or just going through your own personal challenges. Skyward, I want you to know that your Heart Train family, we are here for you. We love you, and we will never ever abandon you. Alright, so hang in there, buddy. Guys, we are going to hit our goal for the end of Heart Month. I'm so thankful and appreciative. You guys are the best. You guys absolutely rock. See, Sky? Mod Podge is here for you, Sky. Trey is here. The first streak begins tonight. Can we beat 14 in a row this time? Can we do it, guys? Remember, we were on a roll for the first super stream, guys. It was like crazy, that streak. JFK, what's going on, bud? How are you, bro? It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. Ghost says I have zero social media besides YouTube. That's a boy. JFK, you only need the heart train. That's it, you're good beyond that. 21 likes, guys. 21 likes. Double tap your screens. Hit the top right corner, 3-dot drop down menu. Let's try to get to at least 25 likes. Angela! Angela, you're never late. Right on time. And it's 10:10, baby. Shout out producer Jennifer Cascardo as we set our intentions for the rest of the week. Remember, guys, even if you're having a rough week so far, there's still time to turn things around. Believe in yourself. Open up your minds. Open up your hearts. Open up your spirits to all the blessings and the beauty that life has to offer. 10:10, everybody. Yeah, baby. Love you, subs. The bestest party right vibe is once again streaming and beaming together. Tip your host, baby. Melissa, don't apologize. It's okay, Melissa. Listen, I totally understand what's important is that you're here with us now. Much, my pleasure, my pleasure. I'm so happy to be able to share with you guys a little bit of education, a little bit more about what it is that I deal with on the daily. As I'm sure you guys can imagine, taking meds, having to remember them, just being so diligent. Not taking my meds is why I needed a second heart transplant. Being irresponsible, and that was something that took me a very long time to be able to say out loud, and also something that still haunts me to this day. The fact that I was given this miraculous gift of life, this precious new start, because of my carelessness, my neglectfulness, my irresponsibility. It put me into rejection where I had to spend 7 months in the intensive care unit awaiting a second heart transplant. I got so sick to the point that my kidneys failed. And that is why I am on dialysis today. I am not on dialysis because of myofibrillar myopathy. I am on dialysis because of my own bad decisions. And that is why I now use the power of my voice to advocate and teach other transplant patients about how important it is to be compliant, especially those pediatric patients who are young, just like I was, who are naive, just like I was, and who may not understand just how important their medication is. I go in, I counsel them, I speak to them whenever I can, just to remind them to not make the same mistake that I did. Transplant anti-rejection medication is critical for survival. We cannot survive without it, and compliance is essential. Big Herb renewing their boxcar membership for another 2 months. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Every day we rally. Every single day we show up, we show out. That is what the Heart Train is about. That is how we move MFM forward. This is how we make a difference. Thank you, Big Herb. Thank you to all of our members, especially those of you that continue your membership and rejoin. Shout out to Ellen, to Drea, our members of up over 1 year. Drea, you should be hitting that 1 year any day now. Big Herb, we got one more member. We got one more member. Big Herb is one more member. We got one more member. Dre, I'm telling you, you're going to be orange with Ellen in literally any day now. Any next live. It could be tomorrow, it could be Thursday. I'm not sure exactly, but I had that song stuck in my head all day today. Awesome. I love to hear it. I love that. Do you guys have any more questions about my medication regime? The one aspect that I have not touched on is the aspect of pain medication and pain management. Some of you may know that following my heart transplant, my second heart transplant, and spending that 7 months in the intensive care unit, I became severely addicted to pain medication. And unfortunately, in that situation, I was not weaned off or titrated off the medication appropriately as I was with the steroids. And therefore, I still had those cravings for pain medication following my discharge from the hospital. Once I ran out of a prescribed stash at home, I then found alternate methods of getting my hands on pain medication and subsequently spent 6 years full-blown addicted, doing everything that I could to get my hands on pain medication and use. Guys, while recovery is very possible, I urge you to not go down that path, to please be very responsible when managing your pain. Talk to a medical professional. Do everything that you can to listen to their advice and do not abuse what you need. Now, my pain medication is highly controlled. I only receive it if I'm going in for surgery or if I have a serious infection. My pain medication is controlled by my mom and my caregiver. And honestly, In many ways, my disability has saved me because even if I did have a moment of weakness, it's not like I could go up and raid the medicine cabinet myself. So I'm protected in that manner as well. But I do want to tell you guys that you really have to be careful with controlled substances of all kinds. Addiction can happen very quickly before you even realize what's happening to you. Next thing you know, you can't. You've developed this need for a medical substance. So you have to be very, very vigilant when it comes to that. Mod Podge, exactly. Mod Podge says, yes, if your pain is not being controlled, do not take more on your own. Talk to your doctor. Modge, great advice. Great advice. Angela says, I'm happy you overcame your pain medication addiction. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. I will be celebrating 15 years this summer. How incredible. The power of five. Emmanuel? I'm almost finished. Can you just hit close for me? Thank you. Thank you. The power of five, guys. 2025, we're celebrating the power of five all year long. Go, Modge Podge. No, I wanted you to laugh. I wanted you to be fun to laugh. Well, guys, I want to thank you all so much for joining me tonight, for being here with me, for learning more about my medicine and everything that I need to take to sustain and maintain my survival. Your questions were great. Your support was even better. Shout out to all of our super gifters, our likes, all of our new viewers, our subs. You guys are the best. Producer Jennifer says, these are personal stories for sharing purposes. Please do not consider as medical advice, and please, as always, seek professional help when you have concerns. Thank you, Producer Jennifer. Amen. Thank you for that. And guys, shout out to Producer Jennifer Cascardo. W's in the chat. Let's show some love for our producer of One Man Three Hearts, the creator of the Heart Train, co-content creator, marketing strategist, the genius behind One Man Three Hearts, and our live stream moderator that holds it down in all of our chats. Guys, the incredible, the tenacious, the brilliant producer Jennifer Cascardo. Guys, I want to give a big shout out, a special shout out to producer Jennifer's big sister, Deborah Cascardo, celebrating her first heavenly birthday. Guys, if you could please go to our community post and shower the post with lots of love as we send special prayers for Deborah's soul in heaven. Shout out to you, producer Jennifer. We're sending you so much love and comfort tonight and always. Guys, can we drop a birthday cake or a birthday balloon in the emoji for Deborah Cascardo? Balloons in the chat, guys. Or a cake. Any kind of birthday emoji. Let's flood the chat with a birthday celebration. Let's have a little birthday love for Deborah Cascardo. Oh my god, 11 people in the chat. Godwig. That's a Godwig, baby. Angela, thank you. Drea, thank you. Claude, thank you. Ellen, thank you. Ghost Unspeakable, thank you. Leave a like for positivity. Amen, Ghost. Producer Jennifer says, big sis, hug the Wrens and extend peace for your birthday wishes. Amen. Amen. I love you, Heart Train fam. Thank you guys so much for being with me on my journey, helping in my mission to move MFM forward. And please, guys, don't forget to visit our support links in the bio. Tonight's live is sponsored by 5heartsmerch.com. Spot by Victory Series. That's the number 5heartsmerch.com. Check out our merch and swag. We have plenty of awesome designs and styles for you to choose from so that you can help us to go out and rep for the brand One Man, Three Hearts, but also help to rep for disability, chronic illness, and bring awareness to move myofibrillar myopathy forward. Modge Podge, we're going to be live tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, streaming directly from dialysis. Producer Jennifer says thank you all so very much. Here is where my heart heals tonight. I'm beyond moved by your kindness. Emmanuel, good night, guys. Good night, sweet dreams. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? We'll be chilling. You guys will keep me company in dialysis. I love you so much, sweet dreams. Good night and God bless you guys. Orlando! Good night, buddy. I'm glad you were watching. Guys, go spam the community post. Show some love to Deborah Cascardo. And please spam my most recent short. Leave a comment, like, and share. Bye, guys.